If you do go on to enjoy today's video, do me a favour and hit that like button and of course subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com, and of course you can use the code TVM at the checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to Team of the Week predictions. I've gone a little bit more in depth this week, and I've gone through some of the leagues I wouldn't normally pay that much attention to, and I'm going to bring them to you today. We're going to start with Duncan, not that he's one from a league that I wouldn't normally look at, but we're back with the MLS. 1 goal, 1 assist for Duncan from right back should be enough, but then again, as a silver, much like the next 3 players, including this one, BURGESS, he's got a hat-trick in a 6-2 win, but because they're from, and I apologise for hitting the mic, because they're from lower leagues, quote-unquote, EA will probably only pick 1. Shamari up next, he's got 2 goals, so I would imagine, well, he's a centre-back though, so it's a bit of a difficult one. I don't know which one they'll pick, if I'm honest. There's calls for all of them. MLS being back, he's one of the only players to do well in Duncan. BURGESS has obviously got himself a hat-trick. Shamari is a centre-back, and then we have Yandis with 1 goal and a Man of the Match award in a 1-0 win. Now, I'm not sure of this one. I think this could be one that they sort of overlook, so we will as well. Pavlidis up next brings our first gold card. 1 goal, 1 assist in a 3-1 win, and I must admit there are an awful lot of 70-odd rated cards this week, which may or may not interest some of you. The next guy would be interesting if EA gave him a rating worthy of his talent. I can't say his name. Moasa, maybe. He's got 1 goal in a 2-0 win, but he's playing very well for Stade Rennais. He could easily have been given a Future Stars card. I think EA should have opened up that promo a little bit more, but it is what it is. Schwab up next with 2 goals in a 3-1 win, and of course, these players are playing further back down the field, so as a centre mid, a 3-1 win, 2 goals rather in a 3-1 win is actually quite impressive. So it would be nice to see him rewarded. Not that it would be a great card. KLAUSS up next. Reminds me of something from American Dad. No, he's got himself a hat-trick in what was a 5-1 win for LASK. I'm not too sure whether that is a good enough card to be, I don't know. BLUM up next with a hat-trick in a 4-4 draw. This is one that could easily be left out because it was a draw, and EA hate draws, but he did get a hat-trick, so swings and roundabouts. Doesn't look like a great card. You know, quite pacey with relatively good dribbling, I suppose, but the rest of it, I'm not too sure. Lewis, now this is one that will frustrate me, I'm sure. He got a goal in a 1-0 win, so technically speaking, he's got a clean sheet as well. My argument here is the goal was quite good. They won't upgrade his shooting to represent how good the goal was, which is a little bit irritating, but it is what it is. He should still get an inform, though, being from the Premier League. Yumlu up next. I've probably mispronounced that, but he's got himself a goal in a 2-0 win, keeping a clean sheet in there as well. Not the paciest of centre-backs. And, of course, because he scored a goal, will they bump up the shooting? Will they? Fairy cakes. No, they won't bother doing that. Let's move on to Liendl. He's got himself 2 goals and a 4-0 win. Again, further back down the field, we haven't had an awful lot of strikers, if any, actually, so far. There are plenty to come, don't get me wrong, but Liendl, from a centre-mid point of view, in the 78 rated card, doesn't look amazing. Although he does have relatively good shooting. Bornau. I think this guy's been featured like 20 times this season. 1 goal in a 3-0 win for Cologne as a centre-back. I might look at this guy in terms of Football Index, because I do mention this guy quite a lot on Team of the Week predictions. Doesn't look great, but doesn't look terrible at the same time. Nasiri, I'm sorry. First striker, I think, maybe. He's got 2 goals and a 3-2 win for Sevilla. I think he made a move in January. Again, doesn't look like a great card. Considering that's an 81 rated card as well, it really doesn't look that great, unfortunately, for Sevilla fans. So move on to Troy Deeney. I've actually got 2 Watford players worth mentioning. It pains me to say it as a Liverpool fan, but hey, we've still won the league. 1 goal and 1 assist in a 3-0 win for Deeney. Now, this is kind of an outside shot. I think I would prefer to see this card than the next guy, which of course is Sarr. Now, the reason I would prefer to see Deeney is because Sarr has a Future Stars card. Now, not everyone can afford that, and myself included. However, I think it would still be good to see Deeney get it because he's much more accessible. But 2 goals and 1 assist for him, for Sarr. So I think Sarr deserves it a little bit more, but he already has a special card, so I'll have to wait and see. Andre of Lille had a relatively mixed bag of a season. 1 goal in a 1-0 win there, so that should warrant an inform and a pretty good, well-rounded card as well, to be fair. Great, good defensive skill, great physical, and capable of a pass as well. Savanier picking up where he left off last season. He did spend most of the first half of this season sort of out injured, but 2 goals, one of which was a penalty, in a 3-0 win for Montpellier. This guy is a bit of a talent, and he goes unnoticed as well because he doesn't play for a quote-unquote top club. Guaita of Crystal Palace, 8 saves, clean sheet, man of the match award. What more do you want, EA? Goalkeepers are notoriously hard to predict when it comes to team of the week predictions because they will quite literally pull whatever they want from their backside just to sell packs. In terms of goalkeepers, it always happens. Kalinic of Roma, one of the only Italian games to go ahead this weekend. 2 goals and 1 assist for Kalinic. Obviously doesn't get an awful lot of football with the likes of Edin Dzeko leading the line for Roma, but I think Pellegrini's out injured as well, so they needed him to step up, and step up he did. Speaking of stepping up, my buddy Gignac, he follows me on Twitter, don't know if I've ever mentioned it. He's got himself a hat-trick, but one of his goals was absolutely sensational. It was like a bicycle kick, but it wasn't at the same time. It was like he knew. It's just amazing. If I could show you, I would. Go to Twitter, type in Gignac goal, and just sit back, relax, and watch it. Yilmaz, this guy used to be an absolute monster back in the early days of FIFA Ultimate Team. 2 goals in a 2-1 win for Besiktas. I think it was in a relatively big game, so there is an outside chance they could give it to him. But there are plenty of strikers to choose from this week who have got like hat tricks and things, so I'm not too sure. Let's move on to one of those, and that is Benedetto of Marseille with a hat-trick in a 3-2 win. Quite pacey, pretty good in front of goal, not too bad on the old dribble, and of course has some decent physical stats. So to be fair, I actually wouldn't be against seeing this card. I think it could be one of those hidden gems with decent building blocks. Moving on to our first dynamic card, there are quite a few of them. Sarabia. Now, the interesting thing about this, of course, is he's been passed up so many times this season, despite the fact that he's got like 2 goals. He's only got 1 goal this week. But because Mbappe was the only other player in that game that got, like, was it 2 goals, 1 assist? They only recently had a card. I think they'll go for Sarabia. Lopes of Lyon up next with 4 saves and a clean sheet and a 2-0 win. I'm not really sold on this guy being in form, but my thought process is he's relatively high rated, or high enough rated that it would warrant giving him a special card. Moving on to Haller. I've held on to this since literally the very beginning. He got himself 1 goal and a man of the match award and a 3-1 win, but it was the performance that I'm looking at. 9.7. That is a massive rating considering he only scored 1 goal and he didn't get any other goal contribution. So I'd love to see it, plus I own the card. So let's move on. Wolves. They've done it again. They've beaten Spurs 3-2 away from home. Diogo Jota, I'm not sure whether he played striker or left wing, but he got a goal and an assist in that game. And he's been absolutely flying recently, so I'd love to see this card, but I wouldn't be surprised if they overlooked him this time because he had a man of the match card recently and they went for Doherty. Now, I've got down 1 goal, but I'm pretty sure he got a goal and an assist. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just got off memory there. I'm pretty sure he set up Diogo Jota. I think the ball was kind of half going in and Diogo Jota just sort of tapped it in over the line. Either way, I think this would be a 3rd inform, which is really, really impressive. Back to Italy very briefly, because there aren't too many Italian games, like I said, that were underway there. But Zapata has got a hat-trick in a 7-2 win for Atalanta. That is impressive because they were 2-0 up, then it was 2-2, and then they decided they'd have enough of Lecce and they just buried them. It was impressive. I said that's enough of Italy, but we are going to stay there actually because yet another player, Manolas, 1 goal in a 2-1 win. We haven't really seen an awful lot of Manolas this season in terms of Team of the Week predictions. In fact, this is the first time I'm showing you this card, so be nice to see because he does have good natural pace and great defensive stats, so I think that would be a good addition to many people's teams. Another dynamic card, in fact, another 3 to follow here. Coutinho, left out of the Bayern squad for quite a while, comes back, scores 2 goals and gets man of the match. So yeah, I mean, this I feel sorry for him, but at the same time I don't like him because I'm a Liverpool fan, so it's a weird one. But he's such a good player, he'd be an asset to any team in Europe. So whoever does end up picking him up will pick up a good player there. Let's move back to Italy. I said there's not many Italians, and all the good cards are Italian. Italian league anyway. Luis Alberto with 1 goal and 1 assist in a 2-0 win for Lazio. I mean, if he didn't have a dynamic card, maybe they wouldn't give it to him, but because he has a headliner, I think they'll give it to him. And if they don't, then they're fools because he deserves it. What passing on that card. And of course, Ilicic to end things off. I did speak about Zapata. But because Ilicic has a headliner, 1 goal and 2 assists in a 7-2 win, I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 players from Atalanta featured. The last time they scored 7 goals, they had 2 informs. And I know you're thinking, how does he know these things? I'm just that damn knowledgeable when it comes to virtual cards in a video game. But if you have enjoyed today's video, do me a favour and hit the like button. Let me know what you think of this week's potential team of the week in the comments. And of course, if I have left anyone out, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.